Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV on this wonderful, to be fair, it's not wonderful. It's grey in Manchester. But listen, regardless, life is good. We're all well. We're all, apart from maybe Ash. I'm sure he'll tell us in a little bit, but we're all good. And yeah, man, we got a lot. Listen, we have got a lot to discuss, and we're doing this early because England's playing tomorrow, and I'm sure people won't be talking about United after England game because it's either we won the Euros or we didn't win the Euros, and do you know what I mean? And it needs to come home. But Double Eight, how's your Saturday going, mate? What's happening? What's cracking?
I don't know, mate. It's like you say, it's one of them weird mid-July weather is crap Saturdays. I've been to the gym early on this morning, come home, done some stuff for the family. It's been a bit of a like, do you know what I've had to do? Sift through a pile of football shirts, mate, and like, mate, I'm trying to find some to sell, right? And I mean, there's a massive pile there. I can't.
Giveaways, man. Giveaways. You know what I mean? Shout people, man. So, do you know what I mean?
No, I don't care enough to give free gifts away. No,
he's like, I don't care about you lot.
Bro, collector here, yeah, give some away. God, no way, mate. Now, big up to you. Big up to you, Saeed. As always, big up to my twin, Ash, obviously. And the best chat on YouTube. I'm excited to talk. Even like last night, obviously, we had the show last night.
Yeah, of course.
Which was funny, fucking fraud watch. If you know, you know. Do you know what I'm saying?
If you know, you know.
But I mean, even more news from that yesterday. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think I think it's even more to talk about. Which is, mate, this is what we want. Do you know what I mean? And it's positive stuff all the time. It's not even anything negative, which is a massive change and upturning our fortunes as United fans. So listen, you have to keep with the positivity because you just have to keep rolling with the punches, and we seem to be getting a few digs in here and then. So it's all good, man. But yeah, glad to be here as always.
Always, man. Big up, man. Ash, listen. He's brave enough to come on the show, even though he's not feeling well. Big up to you, man. Love for coming on, man.
Me and the toilet have been acquainted for the last 24 hours. It's been one of them. Do you know what I mean? We've developed a close relationship. Just don't you don't want to hear about it anyway. The weather appears nice to me because I'm looking at it from the inside, not even going outside. So what it would have been nice to get out at some point today, but now I've just been in and. But the thing that's keeping me positive, though, is United. We're getting fantastic news, filtering through constantly. It feels like almost every day we're getting little tidbits, do you know what I mean? Just little bits here, there, just drip fed to us. The one thing I will say, though, is I'm a little bit worried. Like we've seen the Branthwaite deal potentially collapse, and then Lenny Yoro. I want to see things actually done now. I want to see him done. I'm excited to see Xerxes, and I'm sure we'll talk about them all. But yeah, pleasure to be as always, Saeed, and thanks for having us and the chat getting involved. Make sure you're getting those likes. Free as always, Saeed, providing like top tier content for the majority of creators out there. So the ones on the United scene and other scenes as well. He's speaking to Bologna fans and everything all over the show. So. Yeah, make sure you're hitting those like boys. But yeah, pleasure to be here speaking Double A and that. And yeah, let's have it.
Saeed, Mr. Worldwide now, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Man, we got contacts, man. We got contacts. So yeah, man, check out the videos. Quite good, quite insightful as well.
No, not quite good, bro. It's a really good conversation between, the language barrier wasn't there. You could see the passion that he had for Bologna, and you could really feel that connection with the club. Like he said, he was born just after the greatest player they've ever had there in Baggio. Do you know what I mean?
Baggio,
yeah. That connection and last season probably being the best season he's ever experienced, being down in Serie B. And he was quite insightful on what we should expect with Xerxes. And I don't think, it's all right for us to look at it from the outside or people that, Arsenal fans, City fans, whoever is really into football. But to speak to a Bologna fan who's had him for 2 seasons, They know his game inside out. They see him every week. So to hear, and I love the fact he was like, please be patient. It might not go straight away, but please be patient, and you're getting an unreal footballer. And I think we're really excited about this signing. Personally, I can't wait to see him at Old Trafford. So yeah, I thought, mate, honestly, hats off to you to do that.
Thank you, man.
Turn around on that, mate. Brilliant video, and all the more reason why you people should be getting him over 100K ASAP, to be fair, because he needs that plaque. Do you know what I mean?
We need it.
Nice on the wall there.
Yeah.
Just that
Facts,
nice little
man.
spot there over your shoulder.
Yeah,
Saeed. Yeah, it's a little nice. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sick, man. But now, big up everyone here, man. Like I said, there's nearly 700 of you in the building. Smash a like on the video. Should we start off with let's say, is it bad news? Is it good news? I want people to know, is it good news or bad news? Because today, yeah, we got news about Onana, which was crazy. I don't know if you guys seen it today, but was it? Or I think it was Fabrizio Romano that broke it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aston Villa move for Amadou Onana, subject to completion, all but ends chance of Everton selling Man United target Jared Branthwaite this summer, barring huge bids. Maguire, Fofana, Gavadio benchmark. 22-year-old centre-back will stay. This was after, obviously, which we kind of did say that they were going to sell one or the other. You know what I mean? And was it going to be Onana? Was it going to be Branthwaite? But yeah, basically, 50 million, by the way. Fair play to Aston Villa, by the way. Getting Onana for 50 million. If it was United, probably would have been about 60, 75 million. You know what I mean? One of them ones. But long-term contract, 22-year-old midfield target by Unai Emery and keen to play for Spaniard. You know what I mean? So, yeah. First and foremost, shout out to Aston Villa. That's a big, big sign for them. But it does mean that United, the deal is off for now, basically. The deal is off for now unless United go and spend that 60, 75 million that they want, which I think, for me, Everton, shush. We're buying that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Shush. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, man. Like, that man can have him. I said it. I like Branthwaite for the right price. United don't need to be moving desperate. We are not a desperate club right now. We go and get someone else for arguably probably better. You never know. Like, Branthwaite's a good player, but it's not flipping the second coming of John Terry. Do you know what I mean? Like,
bro, he's not even as good as John Stones when City bought him from.
There you go.
Everton. So for me, it's an over. Right, I'm gonna say something now, but it's not in terms of the player profile. It would be Maguire time. It would be Maguire 2.0 in that we're overpaying for a player that is good. And I don't think he's world class. I don't think he's verging on world class. It's a lot of potential to go and spend 60 to 70 million for me is learning nothing from the past. It's a Glazer move. It's a Woodward move. It's an Arnold move. It's a Murta move. I think it's absolutely great news that this deal's come out today. I think Onana, I do like Onana. I think he's a good player, and I think he's only going to get better at Everton. You know, getting Champions League, working under Unai Emery, probably going to be the central figure in that midfield, and they'll build around him. I think it's a good move. I think 50 million is a fair price for him as well. I don't think he's worth any more than that. But for me, I mean, I said it to you before. I said I personally think that the centre-back market this summer is probably the best in any position.
Best it's ever been, yeah.
I think it's fantastic. So, listen, you can talk, obviously, De Ligt looks like almost signed and sealed, so that's definitely over the line. So we've already got one in. And I think there's just so many options out there for us. Euro, we've got our nose in the race. I know that's not the right saying. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing a Saeed there. We've got our nose in the race. So that's something. And at
we've
least
got our nose in front. We've got our nose in front.
We're not even necessarily in front, but we're in there, aren't we? We are in the race for him. So, you know, the fact we've heard nothing yet can only be positive news in that, you know, no news is good news. So, listen, it's not as cut and dry as him definitely wanting Real Madrid. Clearly, United have got a chance of getting him. It's just whether we can get that over the line. And I think there's even another report today come out saying Madrid won't even acknowledge over 40 million euros. So, listen, if it comes down to that, it's on the player whether he wants to stick around for a year or go and play in the best league in the world, TM, obviously. But then there's, you know, Inacio, Hanko, you know, there's options out there that we don't have to worry about.
There's
we don't have to
options
worry about one player that's overpriced by a Premier League club. And listen, Everton fans can cry and moan and bitch about, well, we think he's worth that. No, you don't. No, you don't think he's worth that at all. Because if he was worth that, I think we would have known that. But he doesn't look like a £70 million player at all.
But also, you know what it is, yo? I'd rather wait for that Euro decision as well more than wait for Branthwaite over the course of the summer. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I know he might be going to Real Madrid, but we put a bid in. Like, we've got time to kind of just say, you know what? let's see if this one develops. You know what I mean? And this one has any kind of movement. You know what I mean? United are also moving with other targets as well. Like, I think they could buy 3 centre-backs this summer. It is possible United sign 3 centre-backs this summer because I don't know if you know, but Kambwala is leaving I think it's called to Villarreal. Willy Kambwala, medical is booked for tomorrow. Contract until 2029. 10 million package plus add-ons and a buyback and sell-on clause included, which is very, very good. I always think though, man, it's always cheap in it, like 10 million. But I get it. It's one of them. 1 year left on his contract. Do you know what I mean? But the biggest one for me is the fact that we've got a sell-on clause and a buyback clause on there as well. So if we do go back for him in a couple of years, and you know what? Fair play to him, by the way, as well. Fair play to him, because he could have easily just said, you know what? I'm going to sit on the bench. I'm going to relax. I'm just going to take it in. But he wants to better himself, man. And he wants to become maybe number 1 at Villarreal. Who knows?
You know what, Saeed? I think there's a little bit more to that deal, because he was wanting a new contract. He was wanting a new contract, and I feel like Ineos have almost it will come out obviously, but it's one of those where they've most likely said to him, look, if you're not going to sign the new contract, we've got to get rid of you. We've got to sell you. We've got to find value in you, at some point. So it might just be a little bit of he's been pushed out the door because he's not signed that contract that they wanted to sign. So hopefully that shows a little bit of good dealings from Ineos' perspective. Going back to the Onana, the Onana thing today is that FOMO, in it, the fear of missing out. It feels like he's a player that you just don't know, and you feel like if he can improve in a few areas, Aston Villa have got a baller. It's one of those. It's whether or not he does improve, and it's that idea of are we going to be missing out?
But it's also expectation though. At United, Onana, the amount of expectation you would have, you won't have that Aston Villa. So therefore, Villa fans will kind of take the, maybe not having the kind of technical ability. Whereas United, we want him to be the next coming of Vieira.
Bro,
do you know what I mean?
It's the spotlight, and it's as soon as one mistake's made, it's like it's blown up everywhere, and that's why I worry about Branthwaite and what Double A was saying was he's Maguire in the signing, not the profile, but the signing, because if we'd signed Branthwaite for 70 million or however much, and then he struggles in his first couple of games, and then these clips start coming out all over the show, and then he's struggling to settle in. Everyone's like, oh, another 70 million flop, and then he loses confidence. He gets knocked out of the team, and it's just it becomes Maguire all over again. So, and like we've been saying, the centre back market's deep, and if we're looking for an English lad left centre back, I mean, Mark Gahey's there. He's available. He wants out, and he'd be someone who I'd be going for. I'd be looking at, and I feel like
they want 65 million. They want around 60 million, 65 million. Do you know what I mean?
I think it was his birthday today, 24, but I'd rather be giving 65 million for him than I would be for Branthwaite personally. He's got years left, and he's shown that on the big stage he is capable of it. We don't know what Branthwaite's going to be like on the big stage. And the difference between Branthwaite and Gahey for me is Branthwaite plays with a defender 5 yards to his right, 5 yards. A lot more close system where he's got a lot more protection in that Sean Dyche system. He's protected way more. Whereas you've seen with Southgate, Gahey been alone, been isolated by himself, and he's been able to go one-to-one. He's been able to go man-to-man, and he's been able to deal with that pressure, and he's done it with confidence, and I like that. So there's options there, and you've got Inacio. I feel like what you were saying about signing Yoro or Branthwaite, I think it would definitely be both, because Yoro plays on the right-hand side, doesn't he, and Branthwaite more off the left, and although he can play on the right. But yeah, there's plenty of options in the market, and it looks like we're getting our deals. We're at least we're provoking and kind of we're not spending time on one target and just focusing our efforts, putting all our eggs into one basket. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's nice to see. It's nice to see us.
It's a top. Sorry, mate. It's a top approach. The chat saying, "Oh, you scattergun approach," and you're putting bids for everyone. That's the way you have to move as a big club. As soon as you realise it's a dead end. What our problem have, Anthony is the perfect example of this. We went in early in the window, dilly-dallied on it all, and had to come back at the back end of the window, ended up spending double what he's worth. So the fact that we're not doing that now shows to me that the club's opening its eyes and it's starting to wake up and act like, they've got some balls, which is exactly what we've needed for a long, long time. So the fact we're happy to walk away from Branthwaite if they're not going to accept what we think is an acceptable offer, Whether they think that or not is irregardless of how we should be moving anyway. Because as soon as that not's met, well, that's fine. We'll walk away. Absolutely fine. And Gahey, for me, again, I think his ceiling is probably higher than Branthwaite, I think. And like you say, to come in late, but obviously, Maguire being out, he probably wouldn't have got any of these minutes in the Euros anyway. And he's gone and shown, he is worthy and he is capable of handling that pressure on the big stage. Fantastic defender. And yeah, I think he would be good. Again, like you say, though, 65 million is also whether we could do the 50 plus 15 in add-ons if they're happy to accept.
And they don't want that. They want up front, man. They want up front.
This is what I mean. So you got to try and work out a deal. Can we offer a Wan-Bissaka? Can we offer a McTominay or someone like that?
Yeah, that's why I'm worried. That's why I was like, why didn't they want that? Because they don't really have a right back. I mean, they have Patterson, but he's not great. They have Ashley Young playing, 38-year-old Ashley Young still playing for them at right back. Seamus Coleman's still there.
I'm talking about Gahey.
Gahey. Okay. Yeah, nah.
I would rather go for Gahey now that Branthwaite's gone. I'd go for Gahey and I would offer them.
They've got Munoz. They've got Munoz though. Munoz for me, I can't lie to you, man. He's quality, man. Munoz for Crystal Palace. So they kind of sorted in that aspect, man. But for me,
Wan-Bissaka's better though, Saeed. Wan-Bissaka's better.
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka's better. You know what I mean? But you know what it is though, for me? Like, I just feel like right now, we've kind of done this at the right time. Like, just let's move away in it. Like, I'm glad they're letting us know now. Let us know now that we could just move on. And that's why I hope United do. Don't just sit back and, you know what I mean? And go for maybe a third bid and just keep flirting with Everton. Leave them alone. Do you know what I mean? Move on and go see other bids. Because right now, bro, we are moving different. That's the motto this year. We're moving different. And do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's like, I feel like, you know what it is with Everton? They see the market and they think, yeah, man, we can go get them bids as well. Like, bro, it don't mean that, man. It don't mean that, bro. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to mean that Branthwaite is costing you 70 million. No, it shouldn't.
As soon as I saw, was it Ornstein say, and maybe it was Romano as well, saying, they rank him alongside the fees that you had for Fofana, Maguire, Gvardiol and that. You think you're not living in the real world. Do you know what I mean? Like, as much as Maguire was massively overpriced, he had a very good World Cup behind him. He'd had that sort of that experience in what he was. He was 25 when we bought him as well, or something like that, 25, 26. So listen, that's absolutely fine. But to you to rate Branthwaite, who's one good season behind him at 70 million, is an outrageous. And the market isn't like that now. And we can clearly see if we can go and get the multiple league winner for less than 50 million. Who the hell do you think you are to try and charge us 70 million just because he's got an English name? Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. Just quickly on Kambwala as well, because I am a bit gutted that he's gone, because I think, shown himself to be a really good, decent player in what was a terrible season for United in terms of
he could have shown himself
to come in. He showed himself to be a good player and not one that many of us were thinking of at the start of last season. Well, I agree with you, Ash. I think, the fact he turned the contract extension down, didn't seem like he was going to sign one. 1 year left. I think probably been told, you look for the inside and you see, we're linked to a Euro, we're linked to a Branthwaite, the lit, where's my game time coming? Ahead of me is Maguire and Lindelof. One of them looks like he's happy to sit on his ass and be a Manchester United player. And for a young kid to come and show two, one's the captain of his national team, one was the ex-captain of Manchester United, to show them two up and say, I ain't sticking around here. I've got a career. I want to play every week. Why is Maguire not doing that? You think the World Cup's in 2 years. Gahey's taking your spot, mate. Gahey is absolutely taking your spot here. And if tomorrow goes the way we all hope it does, in that England win, bro, you might not get ever back in, especially if you're fourth choice at Manchester United. What are you doing? Why would you waste peak years of a centre back's career just because you can have that prestigious saying you're a Manchester United player? I don't understand. And everyone is different. You see it in every walk of life. I'm sure everyone works with people that are just there for the paycheck, don't really put the effort in at work. I get that, and I understand that is a way of life. But I have to look at it that football, you have such a small career as a footballer. Why would you not want to squeeze every last minute on the pitch? Because as soon as your legs are gone, as soon as you retire, that's it forever. You're never going to play a game ever again. So you know, Phil Jones is the perfect example of how he just wasted a career, and I just can't get that behind that mentality. It's a loser's mentality, and it's one that needs shifting out of Manchester United as quickly as possible.
But yeah, it just shows you Monza. Barman, what's his name? Gone to Monza. Kambwala's gone to, you know, obviously Villarreal. There'll be players now just saying, you know what, man, Hannibal's going to be next. I think he needs to go and do his thing as well. There's going to be a lot of players, man, that are going to be like, yo, man, we've got to think about our career. So listen, hats off to Kambwala, man. You know what I mean? For the time that he was there, you know what I mean? He did his thing and that. But I think ultimately, I kind of predicted that he would probably leave because I was like, where's he going to really fit in when we've got all these centre-backs coming in? Do you know what I mean? So let's see, man. Let's see what happens on that front. But in terms of the centre-backs, for me, the Lenny Euro situation, like I said, you said it before, Ash, you know, Real Madrid, they're looking like, you know, they want to pay that 40 million mark. And I feel like for me, it's one of them where we just got to just see how this plays out, man. You know, we're in the conversation, man. Lenny Euro has not decided anything right now. He hasn't decided anything.
Do we offer more, Saeed?
Yeah.
Do we offer more? Just to kind of force the deal through? Like, do we offer, you know, a couple, you know, whack another 5?
They've accepted it. They've accepted the fee.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you can't really do anything. It's down to the player. At the minute,
and we're just waiting on him now. Yeah, but it's one of those where it feels like if the deal's not being done after they've accepted it and we're not getting movement, then it's not happening, is it? Because usually when you see a player, when a club's accepted a fee, usually the next 20, 48 hours, that's when players start to move and they start to medical. The fact that he's sat there and he's waiting and he's deliberating and holding off for a move for Real Madrid is a little bit worrying. I mean, I'd love to sign him, and I think he'd do fantastic. It'd be fantastic. I mean, I hate to be a stepping stone, you know, and United should never look to be that, but that's where we're at right now. We finished 8th. We're not got in the Champions League. We're not challenging for titles, but what a place to develop his career, you know, over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And who knows, falls in love with a club and, you know, looking to stay long term. But yeah, he's someone that we should be doing our utmost to try and sign. Just do whatever we can to try and get the kid. You know, for me, incredible talent and someone that I'm desperate to sign, but I just don't think we will. I kind of feel like it's one of those where he's going to hold out his contract. And going back to the Branthwaite situation, players know now that they can delay the contract and then pick and choose moves. And who's to say that Man United don't play the long game with Branthwaite and say, you know what, okay, we're not going to sign you now, but we do want to sign you at some point. So in his contract's up in 2027. No, it's a while, so it'd be 2 seasons of waiting. But another season at Everton's not a bad thing for him. You know, who's to say that might not be a possibility in the future and the potential to lower the fee there and see how he gets on. So with Branthwaite, with Euro, I want to see deals done now, though. That's the thing. You know, you've seen with linked with Delict. You saw with Xerxes, him as soon as he's finished his duty at Holland, he's been here in Manchester. You know, he's doing his medicals, he's doing all that. We're yet to announce. Delict, where's he? He should be in as well. He should be doing his medicals. We should be getting those signings over and done now before they go on holiday. You know, you want to say to players, right? You don't want to be thinking about where you're going to be and thinking about medicals after your holidays. Get your medical done now before you go on holiday, and then you can enjoy yourself away. And I want to see signnings done soon.
The only thing is with that one, we haven't agreed a fee with Bayern.
Yeah, with Bayern.
Yeah. So that's the only reason. With Bologna, we agreed to pay over the release clause. So it's like we structured the deal quite quickly. That was, you know, that was pretty formality. With this one, Bayern Munich, we haven't even. I don't know if we've even got talks with Bayern Munich yet. And we've agreed a contract with De Ligt. I think it's still 2029. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't dealt with Bayern Munich, and they're the ones in it. They're holding out for 50 million euros. Do you know what I mean? So, as soon as United get that form signed off, that should be done. Pen to paper.
Do you not think they're slightly waiting now Barada started today? Do you not think they're kind of waiting for him to come in and then...
Yeah, he started today as well. This
next week. Because I think, you know, Xerxes doing his medical on the Friday, you would expect it to have been announced yesterday or maybe today. But maybe they're thinking, Barada, get his feet under the table. Monday, I want to be there. I want to be holding the shirt with him. I want to be in all the pictures. Let me officially start. And then we get him over the line, and then it's straight to Bayern. Listen, this is what we're offering. This is what we want. Get him done, and then we roll from there. I think this next week, obviously we're playing on Monday, but then I think we start the ball will really start going now. Barada's in the door.
Yes,
I think that the next week or two, I think we'll start to see some some announcements, some players coming through the door. I just think it's all gearing up to be a hectic couple of weeks and stuff like that. I think, you know, we're going to see plenty of videos on the fly from Saeed. You know what I'm saying? Like having to run home from the gym and all that, or doing his laundry like last time.
Yeah,
Do you remember, bro?
Nah, trust me, it's gonna be a mad thing, man. I mean, and like I said today, we heard even more news about situations going on. I mean, this whole situation about Ivan Toney is mad, man. Genuinely, this morning, 8 a.m., Christian Falk coming out saying, beside the transfer of Joshua Zirkzee, 23, Man United is interested in Ivan Toney, striker contract till 2025. Toney wants to join Man United. Brentford is already informed by the agent of the striker. Ivan Toney, man, it's crazy, guys. If we get Ivan Toney, and we've got Toney, Zirkzee, and what's his name?
Rasmus
Højlund. That is a mad kind of striking options, isn't it?
Three different profiles, three different options, could all potentially work off each other and with each other.
Yeah,
it's perfect. And you know what? It also it worry the wingers there, I think, because it's like the manager be like, I don't have to rely on you. I can bring two in together who can work off each other. and I think, listen, I don't expect us to get an Ivan Toney as well as a Zirkzee. I just don't see, Manchester United doing that. It's nice to, it's nice to not have this all shot down, because if this was last year, you'd get this, and then you get a story straight away going, United don't have that kind of money. United know they can't spend that. It's all dependent on sales, which it could be now. I'm not saying it's not, but it'd be shot down 2, 3, 4 hours after this story comes out. The fact we've been kind of hearing this, that United could get 3 centre-backs, could get 3 strikers. For the majority of the window so far, it means that, one, it tells me that I don't think journalists have a fucking clue what United are doing or where we're going. And I also think that anything's a possibility. And I think in the transfer window, I think it's nice to be kept guessing as a fan. Like, we know the players we would like to see. We know who we want to see in what position. We all have our favourites and players we don't want. I think that's but the fact that, names Euro dropping, that we've had a bid accepted out of nowhere, De Ligt becoming the first choice centre back we're going for, when I think a lot of us wouldn't have even had him in our top 5. Zirkzee getting over the line, taking him off AC Milan. I think it's shown that not many people know. Even today, Xavi, Simmons, and
I was going to get on that as well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just exciting. And listen, as always with a window, I think you're not going to get the majority of the signings. You may not even get 50% of especially United. It's probably closer to 30%. You're not even going to get more than 30% of the names you're linked with. But of all the names we've been linked with this summer, mate, not one has disappointed me. Not one. I wasn't mad keen when I heard about De Ligt, but then the more you read, the more you see, the more you think about it. It's a good signing, and I think it works for him and it works for us. I said before, he's a player that, and I'm not saying we should be a place where players need to come and reignite their career, but for him not to start at the Euros, World Cup in 2 years, this sort of not name.
He would have a point to prove, though.
This is what I mean. A reputation started to hang over his head that he's been at Juve, he's been at Bayern, he's now at Manchester United. Why is it not working out at these big clubs? It's on him to take the onus on and now start to show that this talent we saw at Ajax is actually here to stay, and he is a big player. So of all the names we've been linked with, all the players we've been linked with, I've not been upset by one of them, and I think it's only a good thing that because I think some of the summers gone by, last 2 with Ten Hag, some of the names we've been linked with has been a disgrace every now and again, and some of the players we've bought have been a disgrace as well, personally. So listen, I'm excited to see what Ineos and Barada does now he comes in, and who we actually go and get. I'm excited to see it, mate.
You know what? You know what I'm a little bit worried about though. Double A is the fact that some of these are being used as smoke screens. I'd love to see get a crystal ball, seeing toward the September 1st, and see if we're actually going for 3 centre backs, 3 strikers, having 3 strikers with Rasmus and stuff, because that's what we need to be doing. That's what we're excited for. We want to see these big signings, and going off what they've done at the board level and the amount of replacement and upheaval and the amount of people they've brought in there kind of indicates towards we are going to go for multiple signings in each area. So it isn't exciting, to hear these names and the potential ones that we might have, missed out on Branthwaite. But then who's next in line? We speak about Inacio, speak about Gay, Calafiori, whoever. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that they've got that scouting network now, the one that's come from Omar Barada, the fact that they've got the quality and the ability to recognise these talents, that what you were saying there, Double A, where last season under Ten Hag and under Woodward and not Woodward, I forgot what was his name?
Who?
Arnold Murta.
Murta. Yeah. Under him, it was just like they were names that were almost like plucked out of a bag. Do you know what I mean? It feels like we're running professionally now, and that's what I want to see. And I want to see these signings get over the line. But yeah, it's exciting times, man. It's exciting times.
Big up, Mr. Joshua said. Big up, keep landing minerals for our football club, Man United. Big up to you, man. Member for 2 months. Make sure you lot are liking the video, people, man. There's nearly 1.2k in here. Not even 400 likes. So, guys, if you're watching right now,
sort it out, man. Come on.
Sort it out, mate. Sort it out, guys, man. We're here on a Saturday, giving you content. So, people, show appreciation and hit the like button. Zane's waffling saying Tony wants Arsenal and he prefers London. Get out of here, man. Zane, I can't lie. You fell off, man. It's peak, man. The downfall of Zane Miassi is
you can tell he's falling off when he's doing super chats for $1.99.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The well-running dry Zane, or what?
You know what I mean? It's falling off, man. It's falling off. But listen, I think the thing with Tony, right? It's like we don't need him, but then we need him at the same time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Especially when you look at what I feel like Xerxes will give you in terms of the playmaking aspect of it. Actual natural goal scorer, you know what I mean? This is the guy that you want. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like you do need him in the squad, man. I really do, I really think, what?
Yeah,
the ball in the squad, because it's like the two, like Højlund, don't get me wrong, he's here and he's part of the future football club, but he's still young. He's 21 years old. Do you know what I mean? His development stage isn't ready yet, let's be honest. So it's like you got Tony for now. He's like, yo, Liverpool away, you're getting Tony in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got someone there, like big games, Man City, Tony. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of them where.
And it's Saeed, I mean, he's a big lad and he's got that confidence and that arrogance, and that's what you want to see. When you want to see that rub off onto Haaland and Højlund and Xerxes, because he has got that. You've seen that with England, that no-look penalty, that his audacity just to stare at a goalkeeper, not even look at the ball one time. Just that kind of arrogance, the confidence. That's the United player. That's what you see and you expect when you pull on the red shirt. And Rasmus needs a little bit of that confidence. You see, he's not really got that aura and presence about him, whereas Tony, you feel that, and you feel that the defenders know that when they play against him. They know they're in for a tussle, they're in for a duel when they play. We saw that when we played Brentford, and his composure in the last couple of minutes to be able to square that ball. Tony's got that, and that's something that can be passed on to Rasmus, especially with having Ruud there as well, and just having that striker core of Ruud training Tony, Xerxes, and Højlund. I mean, what that really is fun. That's where we should be at. That is where we should be at, and it just feels good to feel excited to be a United fan again, because coming off the back of last season and not too many hopeful and excited hearing that Ten Hag's renewed. I mean, we're past that now. We get behind the man, but it's hearing the moves that they're making. It's exciting times, and it's feeling joyful again to be a United fan. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to hear the speculations and the goings on. But for me, Tony definitely. I mean, that's one that if you're asking me if I was to pick one, to Xerxes or Tony, I'd be picking Tony all day. He'd be my man to go straight in there. I feel like he's got everything you need for a striker. He's got the power, he's got the presence. He's got the speed. He brings people into play. He's great aerially. You know, he just needs the stage. I feel like he's one of those players that's yet to have the stage, and you give him the stage, and he'll go and perform.
Big up Craig, man. I think Toney would be class. Also, he's another shit house, which I like. Big up, guys. Yeah, man. We need them. We need them. We need to them. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get people that land the as the minerals, as what Finger says. You know what I mean? Big up Joshua before, but like, we need people to let them know, man. Like, we mean something right now. Don't get me wrong. Hoyland, he might get that in the future, but right now, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you need that presence up front. You know what I'm saying to you, and it'll blend well, man. With Xerxky and whatnot, like they'll all blend well nicely, man. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends on it. If it's a 40 million deal, would you say no? 40 million
for 40 million to get a striker at that Premier League.
That's what I'm saying. 40 million, man.
Deal because that would normally be double that. Do you know what I mean? Like for us, especially, like we're talking about Branthwaite. For someone like Toney would normally be. Is he in his last year of his contract as well?
Yeah, he's got 1 year left, man.
Yeah. Look, I've had my issues with Toney, and it's nothing to do with his playing style or anything like that. I just think he looks like the type of, like, the whole pity party thing about him getting caught betting, and that whole thing with Stephen Bartlett and all that. Like, oh, pity me, rubbed me up the wrong way. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like that. I didn't like the stuff he did when he's on holiday, that video with that girl about Brentford and that. I just felt that's a bit disrespectful. But as a footballer, unbelievable. He's been one of the best strikers in the league for a little while now, and I think my only issue is having free strikers is we don't create for one. So that then you start to look like, what are we going to do when one of the best strikers in the last couple of seasons? When are we going to start? How are we going to start creating with him? Because the players next to him don't want to create for the striker; they want to score, which is, a lot of the pressure that's being put on Xerxes now is because he can create. He's going to start bringing in the wingers in. So then it's almost a case of, if he doesn't start creating for Rashford and Hoyland and Anthony and whoever, he starts to get labelled with, oh, he's not coming. He can't do what we want him to do. What we really need to do is, like, obviously we need to remember that the rebuild isn't going to be done in this one window. So if we can go and get a Xerxes and we can go and get somewhere, I don't think it's ever going to happen, but if we can get a Toney as well, and then we look to bring in proper wingers, that's maybe why Sancho's staying, because we know he's a creator. He can pass, he can move. He's very smart in small spaces. Yeah, maybe he is that linchpin that is going to maybe bring the forwards back into the getting chances created for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, Howland averaging 2 shots a game is disgusting as a number 9. So once we figure out how we're going to create for the strikers, I think that's when we start to really try and get the best out of number 9s. Bringing in these number 9s now, when, as we always say, it's a graveyard shift, doesn't really help us so much. It's nice to have these toys, but they're just stuck in the box because we're unable to play with them, because no one can create any chances. I just as nice as it is to have all these links to these top class strikers, I think once we start to create and look to really provide for our strikers is when we can get the best out of them. But that's why we need a Ahmad. That's why we need a Sancho at his best, because Rashford, Anthony, and Garnacho just aren't going to do that at all.
Yeah, man. You know what it is? It's good, man. I think for me, the caliber of signings we're getting is looking good, man. I think the profiles, the names, they're not kind of like Chelsea are getting these youngsters, man. If United were getting all these youngsters, I would have been pissed off, because I'd be like, bro, they ain't gonna start in it, and it's too much soon. But you're getting players like Toney, Xerxes, who, like I said to you, he might be 23, but he's been around for a while now with Bayern Munich and whatnot. Got good loans in the system. De Ligt, as much as, like I said to you, he's been around. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's had experience, got a wealth of experience. He's matured now. He's hopefully got something to prove. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all like positive signings, isn't it? What about this one here? The one that you were talking about before, Xavi Simons.
Oh, bro, please bring him in.
Please swear down. You rate him, yeah?
Oh, I love this kid, man. I love this kid. The only issue I have is, where does he go? Because if he's bringing in,
that's what I'm saying, bro.
it's Pat's there because we've already got Bruno, who's the captain, likely going to start all the time, and obviously the man from nowhere, Mount, because he's we've not got rid of Eriksen, and this is the chat's right on what we're saying. We're talking about strikers and we're talking about wingers. The midfield is our worst position on the pitch, mate. It's the one with the least quality throughout the whole entire squad, and we 100% cannot be going into this season with just Mainu, potentially Agate, Casemiro if he stays, Eriksen and McTominay, and Mount and Bruno, I guess. But listen, McTominay, Eriksen, I wouldn't keep Amrabat, but those two need to go rapidly, and we need to bring in 2 top quality replacements to start to build this midfield. I'd be happy with Casemiro for one more season. I said that a long time. Get Agate in. I don't know what was going on last night's show. People like Zips calling him cheeks was one of the worst things I've heard on a YouTube show for a while. I can't believe they were saying it. So get me Agate and listen. If it come to it where it was Amrabat or nothing, you would take Amrabat. I think we started to see. I think his season last season was massively curtailed by no preseason, asked to play at left back, got injured, and he never hit the ball running. I thought we saw in those last couple of games at the end of the season some kind of form that was the reason why we bought him or got him on loan. So I mean, but I've said to you so many times, Saeed, I don't want to get players in to sit on the bench. It's always about improving it. You put your starters on the bench. That's what we should be doing. But Agate and Amrabat, for me, getting rid of McTominay and Eriksen, I think improves our midfield tenfold. And like I say, happy with Casemiro, happy with Mainu, obviously. I didn't get to say last night, actually, and I'll stop waffling for a bit. We were talking about a midfield 3 and what we want. Bruno's never going to get benched, right?
Yeah, he's never.
But
while is it?
Watching Mainu in these Euros, he's been England's best 10. He's been the best, most advanced. He's been the best around the box. I personally would like to see Casemiro, Agate, and then Mainu more advanced. I think we were talking last night about not creating and not having that person at the top of the box. I think Mainu probably would be the best of who we've got, I think. And
yeah,
I think that midfield 3, if we can get Casemiro to any sort of form that we had in the first season he was here, I think he would be an asset to us with Agate as well as more of an 8. I don't think he's a 6. As more of an 8, Agate, and a bit more advanced is in Mainu. I think that would work.
You know what it is.
Simmons.
Yeah, go on, Ash.
Sorry. I'm not sold on Simmons. I like the idea of Danny Olmo. Like you see him. He's potentially someone that could be got, or someone that you'd have expected to have signed for a Barca or a Bayern much earlier than he has done. But for me, Xavi Simons, I don't know. He's one of them players that kind of frustrates me. He has moments. He's a moment player that doesn't seem to kind of dictate the tempo or get involved in the game in the final third. He's got skill, he's got ability, but I just don't feel like the Premier League would eat him alive. I feel like he'd come to the Prem and it'd just be a little bit too much for him. And unlike what Double A's that saying, he's not getting. I don't think he's getting in ahead of Bruno. So what we do there, that's interesting. And then you got Mason Mount as well, to contend with. So, and Xavi Simons, you could play him on the right, yeah. But yeah, I just if it's a loan deal, which it's expected to be, if it's a loan deal, then yeah, you take him in, you bring him in as a little bit of competition to the other lads, and that you definitely. But would he want to come to Manchester United knowing that he's going to be playing a lot as a loan, potentially on the bench? So for me, I'm looking at it. Go on, sarcasm.
Yeah,
big up, man, innit? Yeah, I'm saying you might carry on.
Yeah. Come on.
You just woke up, you?
I know. No. I'm getting my hair done. That's why it looks like this.
Yeah. Come on.
That's why it looks like this, yo. That's why. But I had to drop in.
Come on.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said about Simmons, but yeah, Simmons. I can't say be too excited, but if we're not spending big money on, then get him in and see what he's about and let him prove himself and see what he can do. But I won't have too big of hopes on him. Like I said, for me. Yeah,
we'll
see with him.
Is he one of them kind of players? Like, I don't want to put him in that bracket of like a luxury player. You know what I mean? It's one of them where, him João Felix, them kind of players where they need everything to work around them for them to be fully like. Because I always watch Simmons and I'm like, he's got ability, but it's like I sometimes question his kind of like.
Goes missing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
goes missing.
He goes missing sometimes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, is he still here? Like, what's going on? Like, where's Xavi Simmons gone? Like, I want to see because you know what it is? You rate them so much. It's like, and they let you down sometimes. And then you have to like, oh yeah, man, next time. And then they'll do a madness performance. And you're like, yo, he's back. Simmons is back. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you reckon, Flawless? Like, is it just one of them, or is it just like?
Yeah, when you mentioned João Felix, that's the nail on the head right there. What exactly is Xavi Simmons? Is he a 10? Is he a wide player? Is he a false 9?
I mean, he's a 10.
Well, I don't think he's ever nailed down a position. Any, I that's what I mean. We use Flawless. I agree. Like, I don't think people know what his best position is, and that's what he needs to nail down. Yeah.
And that is a concern, and that lets me know that the fact that people don't know what you are not excelling at anything. If you're just really in this middle ground of you're kind of a 10, but then you're a 9, but you can play out wide. The last thing we need is players like that. We need players to come in and be like, all right, you're playing here, you excel at this. And we've mentioned Xerxes. We know where Xerxes plays. You know what he excels at for the people that have watched him, for example. Other players we've been linked with. None of these, we don't need Depay 2.0, where it's kind of like, what are you a striker? Are you a wide player? Are you a 10? Because when I've not watched Xavi Simmons a lot, but when I've watched him, I look at him and I go, yeah, you mentioned it. Like, really, are you still playing, drifting in and out of games, having to have everything around you to be having a system needs to support you to get the best out of you? Like you said, kind of like a job. João Felix is like that. Supremely talented player. There's no doubt in his technical ability, but it's like, what do you really do? What do you excel at? And we are not in a situation to be getting players in like that. We need players who are going to come in and excel. You know what I'm saying? And like help make the other players better. Never mind about making you better.
Yeah, I think he's got great attributes. So what I've seen of him, I think he's got everything. But like you said, it's that focus on what you are best at and where you are wanting to play your career. Until you know that, I don't think, like you say, for now, it's as much as I love him as a football player, I don't think Manchester United right now is the place to come. Also, I believe they want a loan with obligation, PSG. We can't afford to do that because if he comes here and it's a terrible...
What's the obligation fee? What's the fee?
I reckon they'll want close 40, 50 million, won't they? Easy. You know what I mean? And I just thought, if it was an option, I think it's worth a punt if we didn't have Mount, Eriksen, and Bruno at the club, because there's too many players within that position. And then if you're thinking of shutting him out wide, Ahmad, Garnacho, Sancho, it's all recorded. And as much as it's a nice link again, and it's players that we wouldn't normally get links with, or we would get links with a little bit, and then that was it. But I just don't think it's worth looking into when we need other profiles of midfielders. Go and get an Agate. Go and get João Neves. If you're gonna go and get any midfielder, go and get João Neves. Do you know what I mean? As much as he'll be expensive, that's the midfielder we want. Him and Kobe together. And also as well, can I just quickly say, because some comments coming in saying Mainu's not a 10. You mustn't have ever watched him as a kid because he used to be a striker. And he's played as a 10 as well. So you clearly don't know enough about him to start saying that he's not a 10 and it won't work with Agate and Casemiro in midfield, because I actually think he would work pretty well. So I as much as I like Simmons, I just don't think he's what we need right now, unfortunately, at Manchester United.
Yeah. Big up my guy Adam Fahimi, man. Hope you're well, bro. He says, I think we need to keep
Adam.
Yeah, man. Big up, man. I think we need to keep Amrabat, him, Ogate, Kobe are needed. We need to balance the squad, and those three will do that. Skel, Casemiro, and Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay's linked to Galatasaray, isn't he? I heard some news about. Is that fake news?
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know if it's true or not, though. Bro, well, I hope it is true.
Let me bring it up.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I see some Turkish done like say, yo, McTominay to Galatasaray. I was like, bro, he won't go there, man. Like, I just don't see.
Hopefully Mourinho's over there. He comes in for him. Mourinho likes him.
Anyway, yeah. Kind of match you, wouldn't it? Link up with the manager that made a whole award just for him.
You know what I'm saying? Get the band back together. You know what I'm saying? Get him over to Fenerbahce with Mourinho. I'm with that.
Take Maguire with him, then he's finally got Maguire in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something about him going there and listen, I don't know if it's true or not, but
I think he's one player that's definitely not leaving this club anytime soon. I think as much as I would love him to, I think, oh yeah, Fred's there as well. You could have McFred back at
yeah, real man.
Oh no, please make it happen. Make that Turkey's problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, please.
McFred back together.
That would be unreal.
McFred. That is bad. It stays like that. That's true. They should run that back. Run that back.
Donna McFred all through the kebab houses in Istanbul. Oh, I'll have a large Donna McFred, please, pal. Yeah. All day, man.
They go win the league title with that midfield, though. Do you know what I mean? They go with Mourinho, Lindelof. Imagine.
Yeah,
man. Serious. Come get all them ballers. Yeah.
I'm sure I can't remember.
Hasn't he been linked more with Fulham though? I thought Fulham's the one that seems to be the sniffing around the most. Do you know what I mean? So I think because they had such success with Andreas Pereira, how much they picked him up for fairly cheap. They're probably looking at it and thinking, yeah, United, a few of these players that haven't really settled in and kind of got themselves a position, a spot there at United. We'll take him. We saw what we've done with Andreas Pereira and McTominay. We'll do something there. I feel like that's probably the best avenue if we can get a fee, because we let Pereira go for way too cheap. Well, we let him go for like 8-9 million or something, and he's been fantastic for them. So how much do we get from McTominay? Well, that's the question. Taking anything around 25 million, I'd be happy with. I'd be happy. Yeah.
After the season he's had, like I say, his stock's never been higher than a Manchester United shirt. So 25 to 30 million has to be the minimum we should expect. Do you know what I mean? The peak, his best season ever for United, and finally, I think we've found his position. He's not a 6, he's not an 8. He's someone you throw on at a 10, falls 9, and that's how you get the best out of him. When box crashing, wanting to get a goal. That's how he has to be profiled now, I think. But there's teams out there that need him, especially in the Premier League. I think there's definitely teams that could have him. It's just, listen, unfortunately for us, he's one of them players that loves the profile of being a Manchester United player and everything that it brings.
That's what I'm saying. Too many people are just comfortable, man.
Having that Fergie cosign, is almost a death wish on any player, because you're just never leaving the club, are you, to be fair?
It's Manchester. Manchester's a beautiful place to live, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? He wants to stay in the city.
Not today, mate. Not today. I'll give you that. Today's yeah,
I can't see him leaving. That's why I said Maguire and McTominay. I think United fans should forget about them leaving, because they ain't gonna leave. They're just they're staying here. I think Wan-Bissaka will probably leave, but do we need to let him go if we're not bringing a backup in? Them kind of ones you just got to forget, man, because I just don't see anyone coming in. Well, and they're also not wanting to leave as well. That's my biggest thing as well. Fair play to Kambwala. He said, "Yo, I'm ducking. I want to play first team minutes." Do you know what I mean? But these guys somehow always find themselves. It's a problem. You know what it is, yeah? It's because they always think, you know what? You're going to need me once anyway. When I score 2 or 3 goals, like McTominay does, you're going to need me.
And that's what needs to stop. They need to stop seeing so much pitch. That's the problem. Even if they're still here, act like they're not, so we forget about them. Like, oh, McTominay's still here. Oh, Maguire's still here. Need to get them. Like, that's how they got to be treated if they are still here on foot. Like, but the manager probably won't.
And I think given the players that we're getting in, I think you're going to start to see the end of these players' careers at Manchester United. I think, was it not the start of this week? Ashworth and Ten Hag had both told Maguire that he needs to look elsewhere. Apparently, you have to hope that message starts to sink in. I said it earlier on. The World Cup is in 2 years, and he potentially could be losing his place. So, it's on him. It's on him. Evans is a better player than him for Manchester United at 35, 36. Do you know what I mean? He's signed for another year. If we get another 2, potentially 3 centre-backs in, he's looking at 4th, 5th choice. I think even if we only get 2 in and Shaw's fit, Shaw starts ahead of him at left centre-back. Do you know what I mean? And if we've got Delit and Yoro, they're both starting right centre-back. So where do you fit in, mate? Your 5th choice. I think this all needs to be outlined to these players that are clearly on the last legs, clearly not at the level to take us further than where we are. Let's remember, a lot of these players have made us finish 8th last season, our worst finish in the Premier League. And it's time to quickly and swiftly move a lot of these players on. I expect it to be 2-3 windows rather than one. But you know, we've made a start in doing that. Donny van der Beek's gone. You know, Kambwala, as much as it's not a sad one, because I think, you know, he was never going to be a starting centre back for Manchester United. So go and get as much money as you can for him and wish him on his way.
What's the fee? Sorry to cut you off. What's the reported fee for Kambwala?
£8.4 million, I think.
Yeah.
But we've got
that's not too bad, actually.
Last year of his contract, we've got to buy back and also sell on if we decide not to bring him back. So yeah, I think it's a good deal all round, and it's come out of nowhere quite quick. But you know, it just shows an ambition of a young player. And I said before, for showing up to internationals, that a young kid's happy to go and play football because he wants to test himself. Exactly. Where these two 30-year-olds don't want to do it, want to sit on the bench and collect a wage because they play for Manchester United.
And to one of them comments you just put up as well, Johnny Evans is definitely a better centre back than Harry Maguire. We are not disrespecting Johnny Evans, without doubt. Without, forget the age, Johnny Evans was better than him last season. Has been better than Maguire his entire career. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah,
he's better than him. There's no debate.
Yeah. This Euro thing as well. They offered United offered him 6-year contract, I think 5 years, and then 1 year plus 1 year, which is mad.
But someone saying there about a release clause. That's the last thing Manchester United should ever be doing for any player. We can't bring a player in and say, and in 2 years' time, if they offer 100 million, you can go to Real Madrid. This, you know, it's not Ronaldo. Like Ronaldo, he had for that 1 more year, and then he could go to Real Madrid. If we want to build ourselves back as the best club one of the best clubs in the world, we can't bring a player in and go, you know, we'll be a cook for Madrid. If they offer 80 million 2 years, you can go. It's absolutely no. You either want to come and play, or we'll forget about it, and you can waste a year of your career. Because Madrid, as you were saying before, and I was like, I think this is why it's good news for United that he's not said no straight away, and he must be deeply thinking about where he wants his next step in his career to be. Because, you know, if it was desperate and adamant he's going to Madrid, regardless of what they've offered, he would have said no straight away. The fact that we've not had anything almost a week after it's been accepted, or half a week, whatever, means he's probably thinking about it. And maybe this is showing the intentions of how much Madrid want him, because to offer 17 million, I think, is a slap in the face for the player and for the club. And for them to have the cheek, which, you know, you probably think Madrid are entitled to do, given who they are, to say, all right, well, we're not going to pay over that, and we'll just wait for a year, and we'll get him on a free.
Smart business on their part, to be honest. That's smart.
I think for me,
they're playing Championship Manager on easy mode. Do you know what I mean? It's annoying. It's frustrating. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are they doing coming in?
What an analogy!
Players to run down the contracts, offer whatever they want, and decide, you know what, we want you, but we're only going to give 20 million for you. Do you know what I mean? While fees are being accepted for like 40 million and that, it's ridiculous. And we've seen it too many times with Madrid. How it gets stopped, I have no idea. But it's just
teams got to stop. Positions of power. Don't let somebody like Euro get down to a year left on his deal. That's how you stop it.
But I think I had this with, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was De Gea when it was Real Madrid and they were offering really crap prices. And for me, maybe I'm just very low on self-confidence or whatever, or maybe I feel a bit more.
Never.
Maybe
never. Yes,
you are low on self-confidence. Never, double A, ever.
You know, maybe I feel a bit. I think a bit more of myself than I probably should. But if I'm a football player, right, and I'm desperate to go to a club, and they say, "Listen, we only think you're worth 70 million, and if not, we'll just wait a year. Let you waste a year of your career, and then we'll come and get you." Me as a person, be like, "Well, fuck you then," because
100%.
If you don't want me now, I'll show you. I'll throw it in the face. Manchester United is not, you know, it's not Everton, it's not Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking top club. I have to get the Arsenal in there. Sorry, guys. You know, it's the potentially the second, third biggest club in the world. I'll show you. I'll go to a club that actually wants to pay what people think I'm worth. I'll go and
values you. I mean,
I love how you are selling it. I get that. Like, I get it from Madrid's perspective, because if I'm Real Madrid, I'm doing the same thing. I say all the time when it comes to negotiations, when you are the A side, utilize that, because when you are the B side, you suffer. So that's on his club for letting someone of his caliber go down to a year left on his deal to allow Madrid to do that. Now, if he looks at it and goes, well, Madrid don't want to pay the money, I'll go Manchester United and play. Or maybe he goes, I stay there, play a year there further on, and then go to Real Madrid. But either way, I think he's good. That's on the club. That's on loans. Because I've seen someone say they did the same with Camavinga. I'd love Manchester United to do that. Flex our muscles the same way we did with, he wasn't a player, the thing with Dan Ashworth. They wanted 20 million. We said no.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we ended up paying, was it 5 we ended up paying? Was it 5 million?
Something like that. Something less than 10 million, though. Less than 10
Yeah,
million.
it was less. So it's like, yeah, like flex, like when you are in negotiations. I'm happy about that. And just to clarify again to some of them comments, but just because Johnny Evans is old does not mean that he is not better than Harry Maguire. Stop it. Stop it, people. He was better than him last season. Maguire's never had a season like that last season that Evans had. We had just the one bad game. He's like, you man have for good short memories, but all right, cool.
You know what? This was a good shout. I think people were talking about today, Calafiori, because obviously we're not getting Branthwaite anymore. 50 million. Apparently, he only wants Arsenal, but I mean, we've seen it before. But Willy Sancho, he was going to Arsenal, and then boom. Do you know what I mean? Calafiori goes to United.
Well, apparently, Xerxes only wanted Milan until we stepped in. Do you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's true.
You know, so that was deal done apparently, according to some. Like, was it Romano saying, you know, Madrid, Milan still favourites regardless of United's interest? Look what's happened. We turned the tide. I think we can sweeten that deal. I know we keep trying to throw these players in, but Lindelof at Bologna, Lindelof in Serie A makes a lot of sense to me. Like, listen, I know we've gone and taken your striker. We'll come and take your centre back. We'll play the release clause, or maybe a little bit more and restructure it like we've done with Xerxes. But how about we do you a nice deal on Lindelof? You know, he's probably worth about 10, but we'll give him you for 8. And then we go and get Calafiori, can play left back as well. And it solves that issue. I think United needs to start being like, you know, we talk about having bastards on the football pitch, and start being a bit of a bastard in the transfer market as well. And, you know, we did it with Malacia to Lyon. We went and stole Malacia from Lyon when it was almost pretty much done. We've done it with Xerxes. I don't see, you know, if Yoro's dragging his heels, if Branthwaite's dead in the water, go and show, you know, Calafiori that, you know, United's an option for you, bro. Come and have a look.
Yeah. You know, it's facts, man, you know. And apparently as well, the Lindelof situation as well is an interesting one, because United are trying to push hard to sell him as well. But I think right now, no one's really coming for him. Xavi, but he needs to go as well, really. Get about 10 million out of him. 10, 15 million, do you reckon?
Look at Manchester United making the right moves. You know what I'm saying? Trying to force out all these players. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if we fall in love with my club again. Jeez, I can't believe it. Tears in my eyes. Trying to get rid of the likes of Lindelof. This is beautiful. And this is just in theory. Nothing's even happened yet. There ain't even no talks of negotiations or anything like that. So yeah, I love the fact, like, all this talk of centre-back shows that the centre-backs are not rated at the football club. So even if a Maguire and Lindelof stay, for example, they won't get game time, which is what I've always said. If you can't move on the player, treat him like he's not here. You know what I'm saying? We may be in a relationship, but we ain't together. Like, we ain't together. We ain't doing relationship-like things. So we just hearing name only. Yeah, sleeping in separate.
eating dinner at different times, one at 6, one at 7. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, man. All of that. That's it.
different meals as well. Like, you know, don't even cook for each other. Don't
even cook for each other. All of that. You only see each other, you know what I'm saying, when it's said to do with the kids. That's it. Other than that, you're just not communicating. Like, that's how we, all jokes aside.
You know, deleting all the shows that they've recorded on the TV, and that's it. You can't watch. Oh no, I thought you watched.
That's it. Make it as uncomfortable for them as possible, to the point they want to leave. I gotta get out of it. Legit. That's what we have to do. That's a brilliant analogy, though. That's a brilliant analogy, double. That's tickled me. That
it's true, man.
That is. You have to.
That's true. Listen, I think for me, it's one of them, man, where United just need to be on the front. There's some news about United interested in Girona winger Viktor Shakanyov, who has a 25 million release clause. Ten Hag has held talks with the player directly. I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him before. Has he played for you?
I don't know the chat. Is he left, right? Where does he play? Is he left, right? Left-footed or right-footed?
He must be the one Girona player I've not checked out, to be honest.
Innit, man? Trust me.
Well, I'm guessing if he's played often, then he'll probably be left-hand side, because Savio played on the right for them, unless he was like a bit part player.
And is
Hey, chat, let us know, please, because I don't know. Does he play left wing or right wing? And he's a left-footed or right-footed?
left-footed right winger apparently.
Oh, so that means he's probably back up to Savio then.
I think this stinks of drumming up interest. I think this release clause. I don't think this is something. I don't think that source in
he got 77 goals in 156 games in Dynamo Kiev. He got 11 goals in 49 for Girona.
Yeah. I mean,
we see Mudryk do similar. Do you know what I mean? And
he has muddied that league.
I think
he has.
This stinks to me of an agent putting it out there to get a better deal, or the player or drum up interest to get the move. Because for 25 million euros release clause, after the season Girona have just had, if he was that good, I think there'd be a clamour of clubs after him. You know, it's always Manchester United's name that gets thrown in there to judge everything up and start the ball moving for people. I don't think this is something that United are into at all. And I'm not another winger. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know, we're talking about Simmons today. I think this kid here, nah. Apparently,
that's like the fact we've been linked with wingers, though. That's good. I like the fact we actually just been linked with wingers.
Someone saying he's with SCG as well. Jesus.
No, is that true? That's
true. That's crazy.
Another is that the company? Is that what? Is that Ten Hag? Is that the agency he works for?
Yeah.
Did Savio play on the left, Eli? I thought he played on the right. My bad. Thanks for letting me know. Shout out to Eli as well. I thought Savio played on the right.
He's played on the right. He's played on the right for Brazil though, so he can play on the right.
Yeah, because that's what I seen. Because I seen Savio play on the right in Copper. I just presumed that he played on the right for Girona. So blessed for letting me know. Hey, Eli, big up, man.
What does he have like in what does it benefit Ten Hag in bringing him? Is it just to prop up the agency so that
ain't nothing to benefit Ten Hag, man. Nothing's gonna benefit that man. Yeah, like what are we talking about?
Probably just to give us a player that we can't say the name of. Do you know what I mean? Just to annoy
I don't know, man. It's like, you know what I mean? If he was actually interested in
Saeed getting mad trying to curse him out at the end of the game would be hilarious still. You know,
he can't even say Xerxes, so he's definitely not going to be able to say that, is he?
Yeah,
he's cursing man out, yo.
Xerxes. He thinks he's Polish or Russian.
That's a Kankov.
What?
That's a Kankov. I don't know, man. Listen,
we need to sign him just for that, you know.
Just call him Victor. Let's call him Victor.
Yeah, you might just call him Victor, man. Just call him Victor.
I mean, it's mad.
Oh.
Crazy. Is a luxury player. One's your team, so let him go do his thing. Not sure about him, though, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I said, man. Luxury player, man.
Yeah, so, we can't afford no luxuries.
Speaking of luxuries, what about Anthony, man? What's Anthony like? He's a luxury at the moment. Like, what we doing with him? Like,
I reckon he's going out alone. You know,
Ash, do we treat him like Double A's analogy? It was the same, even if he's here, he's not here. That's what we treat him like. Like that's what we got to do with a lot of these players. Yes, you are a Manchester United player in name only. Like that's legit what it is.
Have we seen him in the training photos? Because I've seen a few, and I don't think I've spotted him yet in the training photos.
Good stuff. If we haven't spotted him, then
I think I've seen him.
Yeah, because I mean. Yeah, he's definitely got to be one that we can't be going to the season with.
He's starting first game. You know what Ten Hag's like. Go starting right wing first game.
See, you think so? I think he's yeah.
I think he will because Garnacho won't be back till late.
It's Rashford. You know it's going to be Rashford, Anthony, and then probably Xerxes. That's the front three.
Garnacho hasn't played any Copa America though.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah,
but maybe Garnacho.
If they win it, he's out partying, mate. Innit? Do you know what I mean?
It'll be two from those three. It'll be Anthony, Rashford, and Garnacho. It's going to be two from them three. I don't see anyone else getting a look in. I'd be very surprised. Like injuries is.
He's playing Rosenborg on Monday, innit? When you think about it, because Rashford off the left, Anthony, yeah. So he's going to be.
Yeah, I've seen Anthony about in the training picks for sure.
Yeah, he's been there, but obviously. Do you know what I mean?
We just don't care.
There's been no links. There's been nothing.
That was the last game of when they were already through. I'm talking about like competitive games. He's not played like a lot of them. So, do you know what I mean? I don't think he's played enough minutes that he's wanted to do. So,
I mean, if it's any consolation to all you people, I mean, this will probably be Anthony's last season. So we have that to look forward to. If he stinks, he's probably going. I think he's got half a season because I think there's a loan with his name all over it in January if he doesn't hit the ground running this season. I think with Ahmad, with Ahmad, the emergence of Ahmad, and you believe, there was rumors he might leave, but apparently he's really important to United this season. I think Rashford, you expect Rashford to be played consistently until he manages to find the form of old. Sancho will even be here, but if he is, you have to imagine that he's in the fold. And you've got Garnacho as well. I think Anthony really has to hit the ground running. If not, straight back to the favela, my friend. Do you know what I mean?
I could see a loan. That makes sense. A loan in January if he doesn't, because I could easily see him falling out with Ten Hag. Like him complaining, not him falling out with him, but like complaining about lack of game time.
Well,
If he doesn't get it. So yeah, like that makes all the sense, but we'll see. But hey, you man, I got a dip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big up, man.
Big up, man. I had to drop in, man. I had to drop in and see you lot. As I was watching, I had FOMO. I was like, all right, I need in. But all right, man, I'll catch up with you, man, shortly. Yeah, bless.
Always, bro.
Bless.
Always. Love, man.
Bless.
Big up, guys. Keep getting these likes up, people, man. I don't know how many likes we're on right now, but there's not enough, man. There's still 1,000 people here, and we're currently on a thing. 581. So let's get up to 700 likes is the target for the end of the video. But like I said, I think, you know what, man, I'm just excited that things are happening at United. Like we're there's a buzz. You know what I mean? Like we're waking up the next morning, and do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we're just getting linked for the sake of getting linked here, but at least it's positive, like, you know, positive news, man. It's good. It's good, like good feeling that we're getting linked with players that, do you know what I mean? Like that are attainable as well, not just kind of like names that are just, do you know what I mean? Like killing Mbappe and like, if he was available, like, you know, we're getting players that are attainable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're at a level as well. I think, you know, we're talking about we're not one of the two big 3-4 clubs in the world at the moment. So, you know, those big names aren't going to be clamoring towards us, and sometimes it is going to be players that have a point to prove, like your Delicts or your younger players wanting to make that step up, like a Xerxes or. I was watching some videos on Agate today, some PSG YouTuber, and he was talking about him a little bit. And it seems, you know, we talk about a lot of the players that we buy here. He was just misprofiled for what, obviously he was brought in before Luis Enrique, and he's been misprofiled. You know, it's not the type of midfielder he wants. So as much as people downplaying this Agate stuff, I think he's a great player. I just think the players we're getting linked with excite me a bit, and I think, you know, it adds so much quality to this squad, and the amount of bitching and moaning we did, rightly so, last season at the lack of depth we had in this squad, especially with all the injuries, which we wouldn't expect to have this season, or hope not anyway. I think every player we potentially are going to get, I think, massively improves us all over the pitch, and that you have to be thankful for. And if we can continue to cut some of the dead wood out, and I think we'll be happy going into this season. It's just, you know, hold off from making any sort of predictions of where we finish, because I think that these pre-season games, these pre-season games are the biggest of Ten Hag's career, because I think in year 3 we should have a direction. We should know exactly how we want to play, and I think I'm not blinded by people trying to give Ten Hag another 3 years now. Start of another project with Ineos. It's another 2-3 years. No. You can't do that. You're in year 3. You really have to hit the ground running. And, you know, a lot of fans have these theories that Hake and Rude coming in signal. Even now they're trying to say the Sancho thing is all geared up to get Ten Hag out the door. Like Ineos have forced him on him. I don't think that's true. I just think they've just been adults. You know, I said to you last night on the show, Saeed, like, there always has to be a loser and a winner. People are saying, oh, you know, Sancho's buckled or Ten Hag's buckled or whatever. Ineos have made him do it. Maybe they've just been adults and apologised to each other and swept it under the carpet, which is all we wanted in the first place, to be honest with you. So I think once we start to see how we're going to play in pre-season, what we're gearing up to do, then we can really start to judge where we're going to be this season. I just hope we can get, after Xerxes, I would love another 5 players in by the end of the window to really add proper quality to this squad.
Yeah. Ashu as well. Excited,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah. Nah, you know what's good about it is the fact that we're profiling the right areas. Do you know what I mean? You know, last season buying Mason Mount. I mean, we didn't need Mason Mount, did we? We needed a centre back. You know, that's what we were desperate for. And the fact that we're looking for centre backs now, we're looking for midfielders, we're looking for the areas. There's even been talk with a left back with Kadioglu. It's the fact that they profile, they understand where we need and what we need in the squad. You know, we need striker. You know, we need someone to support either Rasmus or someone to kind of pick his level up on just different options. So for me, I'm buzzing with it, and I'm excited to see what Ineos brings in. This the potential for the players that we don't know about yet. I mean, no one thought we would be linked with Xerxes. He was going to AC Milan. There was no clue, and all of a sudden we go in there and Xerxes, and like what Double A was saying there, all of a sudden we might pop up for Caliafiore and be like, okay, well, Yoro's not an option anymore. Branthwaite's not an option anymore. Let's go for Caliafiore, and there is options out there. That's the beauty of it. And at the moment, you look at the French league, they're having to sell. They're having to sell because of the TV rights and the amount of money they're losing there. And they've got no Mbappe anymore going into this season. So no offense, but nobody's watching the French league. Like those numbers are going to plummet. So you've got the ability to go and pick up. The only thing that's a little bit frustrating is the fact that we kind of backed away from signing Todibo and Kefren Turam. Like, I know we couldn't do it because of the UEFA rules, but I feel like if we'd have worked that a little bit more, the potential just not registering them for the European competition this season, things like that, just to kind of get around it, find some kind of loophole, because there was deals to be done there. I mean, obviously, you know, if Sir Jim's, you know, he's staring at a mirror, he's asking himself, is he 40 million? Okay, he's 40 million. You know, those deals can be done. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of those where it feels like you're seeing Kefren Turam now gone to Juventus. Where's Todibo going? I've heard that potentially to Juve as well. And
West Ham still looking
West Ham.
I think it's Juve. You know, I think Juve are now pushing for it.
Yeah,
I mean, but him and Bremer might work well together. I don't know.
It'd be interesting. And you've got Caliafiore there. I mean, you've got Ndoye there as well, who's interesting, you know, as wingers. And we're talking about before about the Ukrainian kid. I mean, you've seen him like unless you're kind of scouting these players or paying attention to them, you don't really watch them. We've watched Ukraine at the Euros. We watched them play a couple of games, but no one's like specifically kept an eye on him. And there's nothing there that like jumped out and leaped out and showed that, okay, this is a player that people need to watch and keep an eye on. So, I mean, unless that's something, the SEG thing's always worrying as well, in it. You know, you've got agents and everything linked on. But for me, there's options out there. You look at wingers around these players at Sociedad. Kubo, a big fan of Kubo at Sociedad. The problem is now though is and like I keep saying is there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of potential movement. I just want to see things actually nailed down and done. You know, is it going to be a case of we get toward the end of the transfer window and, you know, we've been dipping again towards September 1st, and maybe that might be an option for us where we're at the moment, and not potentially buying in players. And this goes against what you say, Double A, but I feel like we're in, if Ineos are looking at almost as a transition period and they're not fully sold on Ten Hag, and they swap out the deadwoods of the likes of McTominay, Eriksson, you know, these players, and they bring in similar, like Rabiot, for instance, swap a Rabiot for a McTominay, you know, or a Rabiot for an Eriksson, do things like that just to kind of freshen things up, and then the next summer go in and get your specific targets and pay bigger money for them. So it's going to be an interesting window. I'm excited, and it's brought a lot of excitement back to, you know, the club. Obviously the FA Cup was fantastic, but going into the season with Ten Hag again, it was feeling like, I mean, what system are we going to play? There's so many questions still around the squad. It's great worrying about all these players that are potentially coming in, but then you've got, like what Double A was saying, is what are we going to do with the formation and where we go going forward? You know, are we going to be playing with a lone six? Are we going to play with 2 6s? You know, are we going to play with more cams up top with the idea of Xerxes and Højlund playing together? You know, there's so many questions there yet to be answered, and I'm excited to see what happens. But I just hope it's one of those, we've got to get it right. I mean, we finished 8th last season. We had the worst ever season in the Champions League, and it's a situation where we can't have a worse season than last season. You start having worse seasons last seasons, and then we start to really drop off. We miss out on Europe, and it gets very, very worrying for us. So I just want to see a little bit of movement. See Omar Barada get in and see a few photographs of him with his signings. You know, like what you were saying there, Saeed. He's waiting to get him in because he's going to want pictures with his signings. You know, he's the new CEO. We've seen it with Woodward. We've seen it with David Gill in the past and others. You know, Murto sat next to their players. So maybe there's a special player there yet to come in. I'm excited for Ugarte. I know a lot of people aren't fans of him, but I think he's one of those players that kind of he just does his job. He's a fantastic footballer where he sniffs out any bit of danger. You know, he's quick to the ball. He's like a little pit bull. Well, I mean, he's a big lad, but he just understands where the game is going, and he reads that and he anticipates it, and then from that he's able to move the ball forward. He's not a wonderful passer. He's not a great passer, but he just keeps things ticking over. And sometimes you need players like that, and something that we've lacked with Casemiro looking a bit leggy and tired. So I keep saying it. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we get. I just want to see things actually be done now. Get us a left back. Get us a couple of centre backs, because I think we need a couple of centre backs. We need a winger. The striker, obviously, with Xerxes and maybe Toney. What we're doing left wing with Marcus Rashford. I mean, he's been spoken of links with PSG. Whether he stays, he seems like he's at it. I worry about Rashford. What I worry about Rashford, he concentrates more in the gym than he does on the football field. For some reason, in our minds, or in the minds of coaches over these last 10, 15 years, they've got in their heads that they've got to be gym monsters. You go back to the quality period of football in the late 90s, early 90s. They were marathon runners. They were runners up and down the field, marathon runners. You look at a marathon runner, you look at his body type, his shape. You look at a 2,000-meter runner compared to a 100-meter sprinter. We want 100-meter sprinters now, are built, muscly, and that comes with more injuries. Whereas you look at players like a Roy Keane, who's up and down the field, constantly. You Kanchelskis, you ever, do you mean your Beckhams, a lot more leaner. And I feel like I worry that with Rashford, that he focuses a little bit too much on the gym and trying to bulk up a little bit, and that's why he's become a little bit tight and rigid, and we're not seeing the best of him of recent times. But we've got there's so much to talk about, and it's just giving us a platform here, Saeed. I appreciate it, man, because it's always a pleasure to be chatting about. And you boys in the chat, in them likes. I mean, this content here, boys, free for what Saeed's doing. All you got to do, we're getting there, lads, and it's exciting time. We've got a lot to be talking about this summer.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah.
It is, man. I wonder what tomorrow brings in it, especially Monday as well. So we'll see, man. But big up to everyone who's locked in, man. Big up to everyone who's donated as well, who's putting their super chats in, and who's becoming a member. Shout out to everyone, man. Just show support, man. Big up to you, Double A. Nice one for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, mate. It's a pleasure to be asked. Obviously, a pleasure to be given a chance to speak on your platform. So I'd like actually saying, there's not many in the YouTube space that do what you do. It's like, in a good way, it's like a revolving door. You see different faces, different, from all over the world, bro. So, first and foremost, hats off to you, because not many people do what you do, mate. So every success you get is fully deserved, and, friends with you, see you, in the flesh. So, humble brother who I have a lot of good things to say about. So, always appreciative that you allow me on your platform. Obviously, Ash as well, top guy. Really happy that you joined on this show, and that I enjoy speaking about football with you. And I think the best thing about this show is that it's always respectful, and we bounce ideas off. It's not shouting it out over each other. It's not about the viral moments and that. It's a conversation about football. It's like, the best shows are when it feels like you're sitting in a pub with your mates. You're sitting somewhere with your mates, and the chat feels involved, and they can talk to us like they know us, and they know who we are, and you know what I'm saying. So this is one of the best shows, and Flawless adds everything, and Andy, when he comes back, it's a top lineup, mate. So I appreciate being here every single time. Big up to the chat as well. Best chat on YouTube, I have to say. You keep the ideas, you keep the opinions coming in. I will get a room, Arteta's Muse. I absolutely will get a room, and I'll pay for it. How about that? Comment there saying get a room. But other than that, if you want to go and check me out, FCAA is where I talk about football. You can go check over there. A video coming out tomorrow. Starting a new series. It's called The Fans, and I basically just ask fans of football questions. And Saeed's done a little video for it. So basically a little video coming out tomorrow about people's favorite moment of the Euros so far. And I've done it specifically before the final, just in case it goes wrong. Do you know what I mean? So that's coming out on my channel tomorrow. I've still not even got 500 subs yet. So
guys, come on, man.
FCAA, if you want to go over there and check us out, I would massively appreciate it. But make sure you're liking, subscribing, and following these two as well, because yeah, just top guys who bring you top quality content.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up to as well. Big up Ash. Big up to you, man.
Pleasure as always, Saeed. Glad to be here. You know, Double A saying about the way the show's set up and that. It feels. I don't know if you watch the overlap. I'm sure you do. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's no shouting. There's no kind of nonsense on there. It's just good content, and that's what it feels like. It feels like, you know, we're just enjoying ourselves. It's like being in the pub, but you know, not just being sat comfy in our homes. Do you know what I mean? And it's always a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. Are you lads going down to the Charity Shield? Are you going to go for that one? Or you're not?
I think I might.
Nah, I'm not bothering.
Yeah.
Not bothering.
Yeah. So no, I was just to say, yeah. So I'll be down for that one, and that's. I mean, the start of the season kicks the season off, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know, excited for that one. But we've got Rosenberg to think about before then, and it's one of those. I was going to say, do you care about pre-season results? So, I mean, I'm sure you do.
It's all about the performance.
It's all about it's all about the performance. It's all about seeing, you know, getting excited about the young players. You know, we saw Manu last season. We knew there was a plan for him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we do need AA on Mandem Talk. You're right, mate. I don't get asked, unfortunately. Saeed don't want so now I like to see the plan for the season, and that's I was worried last season, mate, because they clearly didn't. Other than Manu, they didn't seem like there was a plan. You know, we don't.
You know what's mad about last season? The fact that we had a plan, and then as soon as we go into the first game of the season, it goes out the window. You know what I mean? That was mad. That, you know, so it's what do you expect this summer? So I don't know. We'll see. Follow me on, subscribe on YouTube, Ash Meppers, Twitter, TikTok, the rest of it. So if you would, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, now always a pleasure to be here, boys, and chatting with you boys, and
big up.
And yeah, always a great show. So
yeah,
let's do it again.
Big up, people, man. We're gonna raid Lee Gunner. He's live right now. So go head over there. Raid Lee Gunner, people, and I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Peace.